Summer is an amazing time to get out and search for insects, and the warm weather in Pennsylvania brings out all sorts of incredible species. One of the best ways to guarantee yourself lots of insect encounters is to set up a light trap, a contraption that can attract many different species from the surrounding area by drawing them into a light source. Tonight, we have the privilege of being joined by two incredible content creators, Jack from Jack's World of Wildlife and Chris Egnoto from Nature Here and Now. While staking out our light trap, a large and impressive beetle caught our eye that we absolutely had to show you.
This guy is a Brown Prionid beetle, part of the wood borer family of beetles. Come here, you. Now, I am a little bit worried about those mandibles there. They can be the tiniest bit defensive when handled, never aggressive, but the tiniest bit defensive. So I'm a little apprehensive to grab this guy. Come on. Be a good beetle.
There we go.
That is, see those mandibles clicking? Yep. So Jack, you want to describe their habits, their wood boring habits?
So these most cerambicids, which are these longhorn beetles with prionids included, are really, really interesting little beetles. They're relatively common throughout much of North America. And most of these kind of deciduous species are depositing their eggs in kind of freestanding dead trees, typically in the earlier stages of rot. So their larvae are actually really interestingly shaped. They're almost shaped like really narrow at the back, and then they get like wider towards the front. And they have these big old fat kind of blocked off heads. So their head capsule is almost on like a flat surface. And they will inhabit these super like freshly dead trees, and so that's what you see, all these big holes alongside these kind of standing dead trees. But they're a favorite food to a lot of the things like woodpeckers and stuff like that, because the grubs get super large. For a beetle this size, the third instar larva can be 2.5 inches long, so they are really good meaty treats for some of our native insect feeding birds that specialize in getting grubs out of wood.
Absolutely. And this is a native species, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
This Brown Prionid?
Yeah.
So they have, my guess is that they have co-evolved with some of the tree species here, where even their presence will not cause the tree population to be severely affected in a negative way. Now, that is contrasted with something like the emerald ash borer, where if you are into invertebrates here in the United States, you've probably heard of the emerald ash borer. They've certainly been spread around to different parts of the country, and that species of wood-boring beetle.
Those are buprestids, so that's a separate family. But the main thing with these cerambicids, which is good, is that they keep the health of the forest kind of turning over nutrients, because these are going after usually already completely dead trees. And with some of those other insects, some of those other buprestids, they're going for live trees or wounded trees and knocking them out. So that's why some of those other wood-boring beetles can be detrimental. But that's why it's good to have these, because their larvae help, pull tunnels through all these kind of rotted trees and logs, and help them be able to be further broken down by bacteria and fungi, and help them to return to the forest, so that those nutrients can be broken down and become accessible to other organisms.
Absolutely. Every insect out there has a role, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of deciphering to figure out how this Prionid beetle here connects to the rest of the ecosystem, but everything does. And that's why we stress so often, if you see something, even if it's big and looks a little intimidating like this beetle, you don't need to, and you should not be squishing these animals. You don't even need to be afraid of them. They all have a role. You can see how calm he's been. Just been sitting on my hand and put him back on there and let him get back to what he was doing. But
talk about, before you finish, you say something about its primary defense mechanism.
Oh, yeah. Go for it, Chris.
Oh, okay. So, of course, this beetle's appearance can be intimidating, but they've got these little spines coming off their thorax, and it's a bit of a defensive thing, but it's using those, it's warning me already right off the bat with its powerful jaws, which we already know can draw blood. But its main form of defense, if it's alarmed, is to rub its hind legs against its elytra, and it causes these little striations, these little squeaky sounds. It sounds a bit like a mouse or something, and that could cause the predator to be like, wait a minute, I thought I had an insect here, and it buys it that crucial second to flee to safety if need be.
There we
go. Look at again, those mandibles. Ooh. Now, there we go. This is the coolest.
Nights like this are what we live for as wildlife lovers. Not only do we get to spend time with a ton of cool invertebrates like this Brown Prionid, but we also get the chance to soak up the staggering amount of knowledge that people like Jack and Chris have. If you are not subscribed to Jack's World of Wildlife and Nature Here and Now, then you are seriously missing out. I think you will absolutely love their channels, so go check them out with the links in the description down below. I guarantee you will learn a ton. If you like this encounter and you want to see the whole adventure from tonight, then go check out this video where we show you some of the other iconic insects that showed up at the light trap. And with that, we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.